Alright folks, we all know why we're on this video, particularly mine today. We're here to learn about the magic of worms. Yay! This is where cue the happy music and the opera singers come in doing their coloratura trills. Ooh, which I cannot do, I'm sorry. Alright, so let's look at what the basic worm looks like as a form. The worm is a long cylinder with little tapers on the head and the tail, the anus. On some worms, the head looks a little more bulbous. On some, it just kind of tapers and looks like a little point. In the middle should be a clitellum. That's where all its sexual organs are. So if you ever see two worms touching on that part, you can just kind of tell that they're mating. Gross. Interesting thing, within each ring there'll be these little protrusions. They're called seedes. What the seede is these little bristles that help it grip onto the surface and move around. I kind of feel a little sad that a lot of giant worm depictions, like when the people are shrunken into little microscope, humans are shrunken into little microscope things, they look up at a giant worm and they go, oh damn. If it was me, I'd go, oh damn. I would not know how it grips on the ground because it has no little leggies. Alright, so enough of a picture of a worm. Let's look at a real worm. This is a worm. That's a clitellum. That's the bulbous head. That's the tapery tail. And like I said, on some it's a little harder to tell because they both look like little big tapers. And here's the CD close up. First we're going to have to look at the move around a bit. Kind of gross. But note that it's moist. That's a really important factor that I'll talk about in just a bit about the worm. And there we go, there we go. See these little legs moving. Alright then, so the thing about the worm is, why is it shiny and why does it live in moist places? Why not live in a desert? Well, the reason for that is it secretes a mucus, and that mucus is what helps it diffuse the oxygen from its environment. What that means is they have no lungs, so they need to get the oxygen from their environment. In this case, it's probably going to be that water from the moistness of their environment. And the thing is, if they ever dry out, they'd actually die because they can't breathe otherwise. But at the same time, it doesn't mean you just submerge in the water and they'll all of a sudden be able to survive. Like, note that when it's raining, they tend to come out, and you can see them on the sidewalk sometimes. Just a good note. So yeah, basically remember this for the worm. Long cylindrical tube. They can kind of move really weird ways since they have no spines. A lot of segments, and moist, so it doesn't suffocate. And if you're wondering what small baby worms look like, they basically look, um, like its adult self, but it's punier, and hatchlings are just kind of see-through. Young worms are just basically the same thing, except not as big. Alright then, and to top it off, I'd like to tell you something for the safety of future worms. Please don't cut a worm in half. You know that misconception that if you cut one worm in half, it'll make two worms. That's not true. Worms mate, and they do have a whole body, as you've noted. Head, anus. If you cut a normal human in half, it's not gonna make two humans. What happens is that misconception comes to the fact that if you cut a piece of a worm off, at some point, it can regenerate a little nub back. So, just so you know, for the safety of future worms.